Warrior fans, thanks for joining me again for another edition of DUBS Playoff Watch. Heart-wrenching loss last night against, yes, the Lakers. Where do I begin? That obviously I am still hurting after that, as I'm sure many of the players and the coaching staff are trying to get over it. But I'm sure that they gotten past it. They have woken up today with a new outlook, even though it was an emotionally draining loss for them last night. At the end of the regular season, the last week of the regular season, when they went up against the Grizzlies and captured that 8th spot, Coach Kerr told the team that they got 3 games to win 2. So they beat the Grizzlies, gave them an opportunity to capture the 8th spot and play the 7 versus 8 game, which turned out to be the Lakers. Things didn't go their way at the end of the game, the very end of the game last night. So this is the 3rd game that's going to take place now on Friday. They have to get emotionally up for that game. Now, they just dominated the Grizzlies, for lack of a better term. That's the first thing that actually comes to mind in the previous game that they had. So the Grizzlies are definitely going to be up for this, and they know what it feels like now to play in this kind of atmosphere against the Warriors. And the Warriors just were, man, they left it all out on the floor last night. So again, emotionally and from an adrenaline perspective, they got to be back up for facing the Grizzlies, and this can't turn into a trap game where they're, and they hadn't been playing that way. They had won 6 in a row up to that point, up till last night. So it's not like they were looking past the Grizzlies the last time they played towards facing the Lakers or the Blazers, whoever was going to end up being. They played their best regardless of who they were facing. And they did that again last night. We're going to get into some more details on that game last night. But again, so tomorrow, 6 Pacific time, at the Chase Center, Warrior fans. Be loud and be proud, Warrior fans. Tomorrow night against the Grizzlies, that is going to be, again, a huge game. The last several games for the Warriors have all been playoff-like games. They have to win to stay, within the 7th, 8th spot, not drop down 9th, 10th, but now they end up in a must-win situation. Anyway, so whoever wins tomorrow night moves on to play the number 1 seed, Utah Jazz, and whoever loses, unfortunately, has to go home. So they are in a absolutely factual must-win situation. And for, again, all you mathematicians, this is truly a must-win, because that term gets used all the time when it's mathematically not a must-win. But this is actually a must-win for the Warriors. But let's talk about the game. Even though I'm hurting, and yeah, I got my playoff jacket on. Again, I didn't have it on yesterday, only because I was recovering from that pregame workout. But like I said, I've been sleeping in this until the Warriors get out of the play-in situation, and they nearly did it last night. So that was a nice segue, huh? All right, so let's talk statistically, team stats. So third quarter, by the way, third quarter is what really hurt the Warriors. Very beginning of the third quarter, 4 quick fouls against the Warriors. The Lakers were in penalty situation. Every foul after that, in the third quarter, Lakers were shooting free throws. Um, but really, when you look at what the Warriors accomplished, total rebounds, I mean, look at the size differential between the Lakers and the Warriors. If you didn't know anything about these teams and you were visually just watching the game, holy cow. Drummond and AD alone compared to Looney and Draymond, man, they just look physically outmatched. But they didn't play that way. Not even close. As a matter of fact, so it was only a 49-46 total rebound differential. Lakers won by 3 boards. Warriors did an outstanding job, and not just those two. Everybody swarmed. Steph got 7 boards. They did an outstanding job, to say the least. Looney got 13 boards. Draymond got 9 boards. And I'm going to go through the individual stats, but I can't help but talk about the outstanding play and the boxing out. And, man, the defense played by Wiggins on LeBron throughout the game. Just impressive is the first thing that comes to mind. And Draymond, of course, the defense he played everywhere on the floor, but especially underneath, and especially on the drives to the hoops. He was amazing last night. Doesn't matter he only got 2 points last night. He knows his role. That's what makes him exceptional. He does so many things. How many times have I said that? He does so many things, but it's true. That's what he does. Just an outstanding, amazing player and a exceptional in so many ways. Facilitating on offense and defense. And again, drawing charges, being in the right place, anticipation, sensation. That's what he is. Knowing what they're going to do, amazing. But let's talk about where they lost. Again, beginning of the third quarter, I started talking about the fouls that they picked up real early in the third quarter. Additionally, the turnovers. Holy smokes. So Warriors had 20 turnovers last night, and the Lakers only had 11. And I think they had 10 in the third alone, if I am not mistaken. They only had 5 in the whole first half. And let's also talk about assist, because the Warriors rarely lose in assist. But last night, Lakers had 27 assists. Warriors only had 19. Even though the Warriors played extremely well last night, with the exception of the turnovers, even a shooting percentage, we'll get to that in a second. Still, assist-wise, wow. And obviously, many of those turnovers, they turn into transition offense for the Lakers, and that's where some of those additional assists come from. Steals, Lakers had 15 steals against the Warriors, and the Warriors only had 8 against the Lakers. So that was the most impactful. So as a result of the turnovers, again, we all know this. We're basketball gurus, right? So to speak. We love the game. Turnovers, what does that result in? It results in more possessions. In this case, for the Lakers. So even though the Warriors outshot them in terms of efficiency, like 44.6% in field goal percentage compared to the Lakers' 40.7%, the Lakers still got up more shots, more attempts than the Warriors did. So what does that equate to? They each made 37 buckets in field goal percentage. So fortunately, the Warriors' efficiency helped them, obviously. Usually will help to win, but because the Lakers got up more buckets, they were able to compensate for their poor shooting by hitting the same number of shots. 3-point percentage. The Warriors did score 5 more than the Lakers. The Warriors were 15 for 34, and the Lakers were 10 for 31. The Lakers shot 32%, 32.3% from three-point range. The Warriors, 44%, 44.1. From that alone, the Warriors should have, could have, in like every way, would have won this game, except for the turnovers. The steals, the turnovers, which resulted in more assists. That's what hurt the most. That's what hurt them the most. But come on, guys, fans. Warriors played their butts off last night. They played and left it out on the floor, which is what concerns me about tomorrow night. Is they all played so well. Like I talked about, before the game, Steph's going to have to pass out of the traps and the double teams, get rid of the ball early, facilitation, sensation by Draymond, all came true. The contributions from Wiggins, Bazemore, Poole, Mulder, and Juan Toscano Anderson, again, all outstanding. Outstanding. The game plan worked, other than the turnovers. They did what they needed to do. They had a chance to win the game at the end. And again, if they call that foul, which wasn't even mentioned, on Anthony Davis, fouling Steph as Steph's coming around to try and receive that inbounds pass from Bazemore, they would have gotten the last shot with only 2 seconds left. Now, the Warriors had tried to call timeout. Coach Kerr had tried to call timeout before that, but the officials didn't see him. So they were stuck with 2 seconds left to try and get one last shot up. And my money's on Steph if they had that last shot. But nevertheless, I am not one who cries about officiating. Don't get me wrong. But the Warriors deserved to win that game. The Lakers, their comeback, they deserved to win that game. That game was everything we expected it to be, except for the outcome. Right? At least for what we had hoped for. But don't think for a second that the Warriors cannot compete with any team in this league and make it into the subsequent NBA championship tournament and not beat Utah or not beat the Blazers or not beat the Lakers again when they play. Nobody wants to see this Warrior team the way they are playing. They're still playing outstanding. They just got to cut down on the turnovers and work that out and figure that out. Everything else they were doing, they did well. And again, the reason they didn't get some of those assists, like they only had 19, was because some of those passes that they went for, which had to be precision passes, ended up resulting in turnovers. And even though they did great on defense, again, they can't give up 27, but also, again, some of those were due to the transition offense that the Lakers ended up running as a result of some of the turnovers. So let's go into the individual stats. So obviously, Steph, an incredible game, put up 37 points. He got 7 boards. Wiggins, 21 points. He just played an outstanding game, not only offensively, but defensively as well. Bazemore put in 10. Jordan Poole put in 10. And by the way, Poole on that attempted dunk on LeBron, LeBron's elbow hit him in the head as he was attempting to dunk it. How does that not get called? It was blatant. It was easy to see. I saw it all the way from the East Bay, and they're in Southern California. Unbelievable. JTA with 9 points. Very efficient last night. 6 boards. Kevin Looney, 13 rebounds against the size of the Lakers. I outstanding. And Draymond, 9-8. And again, only 2 points. But that's not his game. Like, if it opens up for him, he's going to take it. But he's never going to force it. He's going to set everybody else up, which is exactly what he did. And he, as much as Steph or anybody, gave the Warriors a chance to win that game. He did everything he could. Left it out on the floor. I could not be more impressed. Let's talk about the Lakers. Anthony Davis and LeBron James were still able to get 25 points and 22 respectively. Rebound-wise, both were in double digits. AD ended up with 12 boards, and James ended up with 11 and 10 assists. So LeBron with a triple-double, and a meaningful triple-double. Not triple-double, triple-double. Let me have the board on defense, guys, so I get my stat number, even though we don't win when it counts. You know what I'm talking about? Let's see. KCP put in 10. Schroeder ended up with 12. Caruso, by the way, Caruso played an outstanding game. Defensively, played an outstanding game. KCP played an outstanding defensive game. And Caruso put in 14. Kuzma contributed a lot. His numbers, he only played 23 minutes, but 6 boards, 4 assists, and 6 points. Wesley Matthews played a heck of a defensive game as well. Just an amazing battle, if you will, between these two teams. We hope we see, as a DUBS fan, we hope we see the Lakers again. My favorite son-in-law, he hopes that they see the Warriors again. Not really. I don't think he really hopes that. But anyway, heartbreaking loss for all of us. But we have to move on. Just like with so many other things that impact us on a day-to-day basis. That's why the Warriors put themselves in that position. So as Coach Kerr said, that they got 3 games to win just 2. So tomorrow night, they got to beat the Grizzlies again. And I'm sure by tomorrow they are going to be ready to go. And but make no mistake, I am sure after the Grizzlies win against the Spurs that they are going to be ready to go as well. Nobody wants to go home. And that's what makes this play-in tournament so exciting. Now, as a very selfish Warriors fan, since they came in the A spot, yeah, I wish that they were already playing the series against the Jazz. But they got to take this step to get there. So let's do it. I'm not going to talk about any other games today because the only thing that matters are the Warriors. That's it. That's it. I'm done. Anyway, it is always a pleasure coming to you. I hope you enjoyed it. I just felt I had to get this out earlier today. And let's get past it, fans. Let's move on. Let's look forward to tomorrow. I'm sure the Warriors will. It may take them all of today to get past it, but if they have a shoot around today, sure they will get back into it, loosen up, and not to sit and just dwell on a loss. That's the worst thing that anybody can do. It is time to look ahead, look forward, and I have the highest of hopes. And I am extremely optimistic about tomorrow. But it will not be easy. So they're going to have to play the same way they played last night without the turnovers, that many turnovers, at any point of the game. They got to play all 4 quarters, and I'm not going to throw a bunch of cliches at you, but it's true. It is accurate. Every possession counts. Every single possession. All right, I'm done. Thanks, guys. Everybody stay healthy out there. Warriors, we love you. We love what you did last night. We respect you. And, man, let's go. Let's go tomorrow night. Chase Center. Let's be loud again. And I don't have any other fans here today because I'm not there at Staples, and the game's tomorrow at Chase Center. So it's just me, myself, and I, and my canines. Other than that, stay healthy, take care, and go Warriors. I'm out.